Hey guys, welcome to Farm Charm Chic. I'm Emily. In today's episode, I have put together a few of my favorite farmhouse flips. Each one of today's projects has added that perfect farmhouse touch to my decor, and I hope that they inspire you. If you like crafting, DIYs, dupes, hacks, thrift flips, or just creating in general, I would love if you would consider subscribing. And if you do like any of today's projects, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. But let's get started. I got this little bucket at a yard sale last summer, and I've been waiting for a wonderful project to use it with, and I'm so excited with how this turns out. Green is not my color, so I am going to spray paint it white. You can use one of these little buckets from Dollar Tree if you'd like. It does have the raised letters, so just know that. So after I wipe this down, I will just spray paint it with white, and I wanted to do, at Hobby Lobby, I've seen some items that say Farmhouse Local on them, so I just went into Google Images and found an image that I like and screenshotted it, and then I printed it on water slide decal paper. I'll leave a link to the paper down in my description box, but it was kind of in this rusty writing and I really liked how it turned out. You'll use this clear gloss after you print your image, and you'll spray 2 coats on the water slide decal paper. You can kind of see this shine there that it gives it, and that just protects your ink. Then you'll just cut your image out to whatever size you would like it. I'm just showing you that it was in the middle of the paper, and I just cut it out and I kind of detail cut it around the words there. And I'm just deciding which side is the best to place it on. And you'll just get some water. This is just like lukewarm water, and you're just going to place it down in. Now it's going to curl up. It's okay. Just let it curl up because it's not going to stay like that when it gets on your paper. But you let this soak for about a minute and a half or so. You'll just take it off, and it's just going to slide from the backing. And then you're just going to place it on your item, and you can leave the back on it until you place it down and then just kind of slide the back out from underneath it. I just chose to slide it off right there because it was starting to come off. And I just find the spot that I like, and you just start pressing it down. You will notice that there is some kind of like adhesive or glue or stickiness on the back of this little water slide decal, and that's what's going to adhere it to your item. So I'm just taking a paper towel and I'm just moving the water from the outside or from the inside to the outside. So I'm just kind of removing any bubbles. I'm pressing down to absorb any water, and then you still have room to slide it if you need to slide it either direction or anything like that. It's very easy to use, and you have a lot of wiggle room to kind of get it just precise and exactly how you want it. So you're just pressing down, removing any air bubbles or anything like that, making sure that there's no wrinkles or anything like that, and that you're drying it off. And then you're just going to let it sit for a little bit to completely dry. Then I am just taking some Mod Podge because I do want this to have a shimmer. The spray paint I used was kind of a chalky finish, and that paper, since I sprayed the clear coat on it, is shiny. So I want this all to match. So that way I'm trying to make it so you can't tell that there's a decal on the front of this. So I'm just going over with some clear gloss Mod Podge. And you guys, you cannot even tell that there was like an edge or anything to that. It honestly looks like this is printed right onto this bucket. I absolutely love how it turns out, and I love the water slide decal paper. This was the perfect size for a couple of little IKEA plants to sit down in, but how cute would a little strand of beads, wooden beads be hanging out of this? I think this is darling. I love it. Something that you definitely use all year round. I just love the greenery in there. It just seems summer and clean and crisp to me. Have you guys ever used the water slide decal paper? It is a total game changer. If you have not, I highly recommend it. So look for that link down in my description box. I recently remodeled one of our bathrooms, and I kept the cupboard doors off of the vanity that we took out so I could do some DIYs with them. So I'm going to use that for my next project. And guys, I went to remove these hinges, and oh my gosh, I don't know what was going on with them, but I could not unscrew them for the life of me. I started to strip the screws. I tried to pry them out. Nothing worked. My husband came home, and I was literally in the process of throwing these in the garbage. And he's like, wait, let me see what I can do. So it took him about a half an hour, but he was able to get them out for me. So I don't have the footage of that because I was literally just going to toss them out. So I'm taking some white chalk paint here, and I'm going to go over it. And I got really heavy with it because at first I was going to coat the whole thing completely and then just go sand it down, but I really liked the way that the dry brushing kind of looked on it. So I go back in and kind of wipe it down where I was really heavy in the beginning, and then just kind of lightly go over and dry brush it all over to give it that little bit of white, very light painted look. And then I'm going to take my emery board. Guys, I'm really liking using emery boards for my distressing. So it's just a tip. I ordered them off Amazon and they are great. But I'm going to go on all of the raised edges and sand really good. This is going to give it a little bit of definition and texture. So of course, like I said earlier, I know distressing is very personal. So do you what you do you. Let's just put it that way. So I really wanted to lighten this up. And by lighten it up, I mean take the paint off a little bit. I really did want this to look very weathered for what I had in mind to do with it. So I'm going to wipe it down after I go through and make sure all that's off. But I do just go around all those edges really well. And I focus on the corners to make them look really kind of aged and sanded. My kids did a really good job beating these up in our bathroom already, so they were pretty rustic looking already. So now I'm going to make a wreath to use with this. So I'm going to use an embroidery hoop because that was the exact size that I needed. So I just had the outside part of the ring. So I hot glued it together. And then I had this, I don't know if it for sure is floral wire, but it was some kind of wire I got at Dollar Tree in their outdoor section for spring. So, and I have a combination of Dollar Tree succulents and succulents that I ordered on Amazon here. So my first couple I wire on really good to give a little bit of stability and give me a surface area to start gluing other pieces on. So after I wire those first couple pieces on, I glue the next one in, and then I go through with, these are from Dollar Tree that I'm using right here, and I trim them up and I'm just starting to style it. I just want the florals to be on the side of the wreath. So I just take my time, and then when I decide I want something, it's where I want it, I just add a little bit of hot glue. And then on some of the longer pieces that come out that curve around the embroidery hoop, I just make sure to glue those onto the hoop itself so that way they can stay in the shape that I want them. After I've got everything on, I put a whole bunch of hot glue on the back to hold it in place. Now I bought this part of a door knob at an antique store, and I thought this was the perfect project for it. So I'm going to go ahead and just hot glue it on, and the hot glue has held really well with this, guys. So I get it centered and put it on, and I'm just showing you that I can use different styles of wreath, how it looks with that little metal element there. I just love the way that it looks. So, and then I have the wreath that I made, and I thought I kind of don't like it positioned that way with this particular wreath. So I turned it to the side, and I love it this way. So I'm going to put on the 3M hooks on the back, but I put one in each different area. And so I can show you here that I'm putting it upside down from how you would normally put it on. And that's going to give you a place to, when you hang it with your ribbon, to hook it to on the back. I do this on my kitchen cabinets when I hang my wreaths at Christmas time on them. Now, normally you would just tie your ribbon in a loop so it hooks onto the back. These happen to have these little teeny holes all through them, so it worked out perfect. So I went ahead and put that on there, and I think this looks so cute. This is my favorite of all that I did today. I'm so excited. I am going to go back in and paint the back. For some reason, I don't know why that didn't occur to me while I was doing it, but I will go back in and dry brush the back because I do want it displayed on this easel so you can see the back. So when you do this, make sure you paint the whole thing. But look at how cute all of that distressing looks. I'm so happy with that. You can definitely see the different raised areas of that I sanded to give it that good definition look. I think this wreath is so cute. I did put another 3M thing on the back so I can change the orientation of it and change the wreath out for different seasons as I have this up. So let me know what you guys think of this one. This was my favorite through the whole thing. I absolutely love this. What do you guys think? I picked this sign up at a garage sale last summer, and I absolutely love the little faux shiplap slats that are in there. Now this sign is cute the way that it is, but those colors do not match my house. They're kind of a little dark and drab for the fall colors that I do. So I'm excited to brighten this up and make it every day. So I take it out to my garage and I just sand it down really good with my electric sander so those letters aren't going to be peeking through the paint. And then I'm just using my little fingernail file here to do a little touch-up sanding if there were any areas that I needed to focus on, or once I got it under better light, I could kind of see some areas I needed to sand a little better. Then I just take a baby wipe and make sure that all of that grit and everything from sanding, all the dust, is totally off of it before I start painting it. I really like the black color that is on this frame, and it makes it so simple to leave it that color, and it really works with the project that I'm doing. So I just tape it off so I won't get any paint splatter or anything on that. And then I just take some chalk paint, and this is where you can customize it to your own decor. I really like the white shiplap look, and so I'm just painting white chalk paint over these slats here. I do one good coat, let it dry, and then go back over and do a second. You can do however many coats it would take to cover your project. Just know that when you're using white paint, you can kind of see my first coat there is not super, doesn't have a lot of coverage, so I'm just using my heat tool there to kind of dry that quickly so I can kind of move through this. The second coat has a lot better coverage since it is that farmhouse style and it is rustic. We want it to look a little bit aged. It's okay if you can see a little of that original base coming through. Now I'm just going to remove the frame to reveal that black portion of the frame, and I will go through and sand all of the edges and the corners to make it look even more distressed. It was already beat up kind of a little bit, so I decided just to embrace that since it is farmhouse, and we're just going to sand it a little bit more and make it a little bit more aged. Now can you see those slats where the shiplap is? You can see the paint pooling there. I really liked how that looked. It just kind of gave it more of that aged look. Now I got this frame at Hobby Lobby. It was on their clearance, so it was about $5 it looks like there, and I loved how this looked. It was the perfect size for this. You could do whatever shape of wreath you have, whatever color, make it for Christmas time, fall time. You can change this out however you would like to do that. I have this thick burlap ribbon, and so I am just going to make this hang from the burlap ribbon. So I just cut a length of that, and then I am just lining the edges of that ribbon up. Now I really wanted this to be sturdy hanging from this. I didn't want it to go over the top of the frame to the back. I kind of wanted to put it underneath, if that makes sense. So I just kind of pry that shiplap a little bit until it opens up there. And then I'm just going to feed that burlap ribbon through over to the back edge. Once I have that through and I have my slat pressed back in place, I am just going to cut that ribbon off. It only needs to be over just a little bit. You don't need a lot hanging there. And then I'm just going to use some hot glue to kind of give that a little bit of extra security. I glue the base portion and then the middle, and I just press that down until it's dry. Now it does have these little sawtooth hangers. I do take one of those off. I use a hammer to place it on the back there so I can hang it the correct direction. However you would like to hang it is up to you, or you can even just lay it, stand it up against something. So now I just had to decide if I wanted the wreath to go in front of the burlap ribbon or behind. I chose to leave it behind. That's a matter of personal preference. I am so pleased with how this came out. I absolutely love this. It is perfect for everyday farmhouse. I can even change the wreath out for different seasons. Next time you're at your thrift store or a garage sale, look for these staple pieces like this that maybe you don't love the design and you saw how easy it was to change and make it super neutral. I have this little wooden box that was a planter box that a potted plant came in. And since the potted plant has probably died, let's be honest, but I'm going to make this over. I want everything today to be kind of white and chippy, fresh farmhouse with some greenery. And so I'm just taping off the rope handles because I do like those. And I am going to use Rust-Oleum's linen white chalk paint. I do like this chalk paint a lot. I use it on all of the furniture items that I end up painting. I am currently out of my Waverly white chalk paint, so I decided to pull this out and use it. And I forgot how much I really do like this. So if you are looking for a new type and you haven't tried this, I highly recommend it. So I'm just going through here and giving this not even a full coat. It's just kind of sparsely putting it on. I'm letting the wood show through. We're wanting this to be very chippy and very weathered looking, but I'm going to do all sides I'm going to do the rim around the top as well. And then I will also go down about 1 inch at the top, so if you can see into it, you'll still see that white paint. So for the technique I'm going to use here, I actually picked this up from Rhonda over at the Distressed Princess, and I've never done this before, and I was so amazed at how well this worked out. So I'm going to print on tissue paper. So I just cut tissue paper small enough to tape on a regular size piece of printer paper. You actually want it taped like this, very well around all of the edges. I will leave a link to this graphic down in my description box. It just came from the Graphic Fairy. But you just print as normal. You just feed the paper through just as normal so it prints on the side that your tissue paper is on. And I did want to just show you that the painter's tape does peel right off the tissue paper without ripping it very easily. And you can see that it's just, I mean, it looks great printed on this tissue paper. I decided to rip around the print, so that way when I put it on, I felt like maybe it would blend in a little bit more with the wood. So I'm not sure if cutting it would give it the same effect, so you could try either way, but I did just go through and delicately ripped around the graphic here, and I just put my finger there to stop it from tearing up in certain places. Now I'm going to center this on my box. And what I do first is I lay down some Mod Podge. And of course with Mod Podge, you go to pour just a little bit and like a ton comes out, right? So I just spread this all over the whole box, and I am using the matte Mod Podge. And I center this, I eyeball it. You can be as exact as you want on this. And I just lightly press it down with my finger to make sure that it is kind of down. There's no air bubbles, kind of rub those out. But I'm being very delicate to not rip the tissue paper. And then I take my Mod Podge roller that I recently got and I roll over the top of this. And guys, this totally made the difference. It looks like this is completely just printed onto the box. And I do roll over it really well a few times to make sure that is down. And then with the leftover Mod Podge on my sponge, I just go around and get the edges to make sure that it stays down. But look at how amazing this looks. I think that you can't even tell that it's printed on any type of paper and put on there. It looks so good. And if you don't have a Cricut, this is a great alternative. I will leave the link to the graphic down in my description box. I would like to thank you for your continued support. It means the world to me when you take time out of your day in your busy schedule to watch my videos, and I hope that I am bringing some value and some inspiration to you. I always love to know your favorite project from the video, so if you had a favorite one from today's video, I would love for you to let me know down in the comments. And if you like seeing flips, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. That way I know that you are enjoying that, and I will keep them coming. As always, I would like to remind you to be safe, be smart, be nice, be happy, choose to have a good day because you are amazing. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed the video that you just saw, here's another one that you might enjoy. And as always, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching and have an amazing day.